Hi friends, it's Amy at Doki Doki Forest, and today is Friday, which means it's hashtag flipthroughfriday. This is a super fun open collab hosted by Kristina over at Kristina's Shack. And you can also check the hashtag flipthroughfriday to see who else is participating, because different people jump in and out every week, and it's really awesome. So you can check the hashtag flipthroughfriday and see who is jumping into the collab this week. And that's not my only hashtag, because today I'm flipping you through my Messy May journal. And my fingers are wet with paint. Not wet, the paint is dry, but they still have paint on them because I've been working on this. I do realize it's now June, but that is okay. Each day there was a prompt, and then a different host would show you some ideas to inspire you to create a page, maybe use something a little differently, create something that you maybe wouldn't have thought of otherwise, and try some new techniques. And the nice thing was every single day they would have, like, you know, day 1, day 2, and then whatever the word was for that day. And then they would always have a saying at the top that said, remember, bring your messy self, take what you need, no such thing as being behind, and remember that more than 0 is enough. And I think that's incredible. I love that gentleness approaching this this daily challenge. So you can check out, let me make sure I get all my info right here. Okay, so here's what you can look at for that. Hashtag getmessymay, and also at Get Messy Art Journal. So there's your info for finding them, and I will have information down below for Flip Through Friday and for Messy May. So I hope that makes sense. Here are our prompts, and I'm going to have it right next to me for my little cheat sheet. And this is my journal. So day 1 was new. So it was, you know, make a journal, basically, for this challenge. And it just had to be, it could be anything, you know. And so I decided I would use a Starbucks bag because I had that. And I thought that would work. Let me just take a little bit of the bulk out of this for a minute. Let me take out the first, if I take out the first signature, then it's easier to show you. And here she is. And these are just holding in the other signatures right now. They're not ideal because they're not quite as stretchy as I would like. They're a little bit tight, but they're good enough for now. And then I think I will probably sew in the signatures later. But while I was working in Messy May, I wanted the flexibility to be able to change pages, remove things around, or if I forgot a page, add a page, that sort of thing. So here is my mermaid, my Starbucks mermaid. I decided I would give her some scales, touch up her hair, give her some lipstick. Or maybe not. Maybe that's her natural color lips. So that was day 1, and this was, I mean, this couldn't be any easier to make for a cover. And trust me, I need easy because I'm pretty new to the whole, like, making a journal thing. So here she was before. You can see on the inside. And the nice thing is I've got a little space here where I tucked the prompt page in. And I was thinking, too, that I might even decorate this. I might hang some things off of it. We'll see. Like I said, this isn't done. I think I got to page, or day, I should say, 22. And that's where I'm at for now. So I'll just share with you what I have. All right, so that was day 1. Day 2 was expand. So the idea was to take a page and sort of have it continuing. You know, maybe you wouldn't see that there was a tear here. The artist actually did a really great job of making it so you couldn't tell it was like a flip page. I really didn't. I think you can tell. But the idea was kind of for the picture to continue. And so I've got this little bird, and then you flip that open. And let's see if I can bring this up a little closer for you. So you open that, and you have this carousel, and there's another bird in there, and I was drawing these trees with Posca pens. And then you open that side, and there's more birds. So, hey, how dare someone send me a message? I'm just kidding. So you just flip that open and there's birds throughout, and I apologize for the glare. It's just kind of what happens when you have a light and a magazine image. So that's what I came up with. You know, I generally love to have nature in my journals, nature, beasties, animals, plants, all that sort of thing. And I would encourage you to check out the original artists and see what they did for these, because their things are really impressive. And sometimes I feel like my things were fun to play around with, but probably, you know, not probably, they weren't as impressive as the original artist. But the nice thing about Messy May is just trying new things. And this was page 3, which was a brain dump. And this is, my page is very similar to the inspiration, to the artist who did the inspiration for this. So she also had a brain up here, a cartoony kind of brain. She also, you know, and you kind of do step by step as the artist was doing it. So first you would, like, you know, write with messy writing and kind of get your brain dump down, and then just add layer after layer, and then add this little brain at the end. So that's my little brain dump page. And then the next page was joy. So what brings me joy is nature and the color green. So that's what I wanted to fill this page with. And I just went nuts with stickers on this one. This was just fun to just get some stickers down, and very relaxing. Because I love to draw, I love to sketch and draw and paint, but, you know, it's great sometimes to just have a simple day where maybe you just do messy writing on a page, or maybe you just splatter paint, or maybe you just scrape paint, or, you know, you put some stickers down, you know, just relax and enjoy it. The next thing was elevate. And I actually, this was a paper bag, and I wrote in here all the different steps so I could try to remember. So first we stamped tissue, then we made a cluster, then we added some gesso with scratches, some crayon, some acrylic paint with fingers, white paint to soften, pop of color, add the tissue, stencil, add white to the background, splatter paint, add focal point, and add the cluster in. So there was quite a lot going on in this page. I'll bring it a little closer and put that aside and bring this closer to you. And this was some tissue that Julia had given me with the beautiful Evelyn Rose Fairy that I now have here living with me in Doki Doki Forest. You can find Julia on Instagram under Dora and Ducky. And so I decided to make a fairy on this page. And it's funny, there's so many layers to this page. This was a super cool technique that I have not done before, where you put paint on, then a stencil, then wipe away with like a baby wipe or a wet wipe. So that was very interesting. I've never done that before. So that's the thing. Every day there was something, I think, that I was like, well, I've never done that before. Even painting with my finger. I painted more with my fingers during Messy May than I think I even did in like kindergarten. And I loved it. I'm a huge fan. This is why I'm getting messy on my fingers. I mean, I don't need May to be messy. I can be messy all year. So this is my Jolly Green Giant Fairy. I made her green because I just like to make the skin tone like different colors, and but I was thinking maybe I should have made the shirt and the hair the same color. She's got kind of like Bride of Frankenstein-y sort of hair. But anyway, so that was that day. Now we'll put the rest in because day 6 was patchwork. And I loved, this idea was super fun. This was another relaxing one because you literally just go cut out squares of different magazine images, and then you just put them next to each other on the page, and you add like your faux stitching. I loved that. And then I added a little bit of white gel pen here and there, and a little bit of extra, some extra little like designs there, because that's what the artist did as well. And so that was really neat. I've never made a patchwork page like this before. I've added like one image and kind of done a little faux stitching, but never a whole sort of quilt style, or at least I don't remember doing a whole quilt style. So that was really fun. This one let's get my face out of there for a sec. This one was called Garner, and this day was all about getting some of your favorite art supplies down on a page, your favorite colors, your favorite supplies. So I put down some of my favorite acrylic paints I'm using right now, some of my favorite colored pencils, some of my favorite Posca pens, some of my favorite watercolor colors. So it is a pretty neat idea, because the idea is, you know, 6 months from now or whatever, I could look at this and be like, oh my gosh, I was really into those colors, but now everything is like black and pink, or, you know, whatever mood I'm in at the time. So I do like this idea. And then the next one was Alchemy. And this was a really cool one, but this was a whole file folder, which is so big I couldn't, my elastic bands I was using wouldn't fit around that. So this one is Alchemy, and this is a file folder that we folded in half and painted. And there's me, and you do some writing, and you do some paint splattering, and there's a little like plastic tag in here. Mine's actually made from an old sticker bag I reused, but she used double-sided tape, and I didn't have that, so I just used a sticker bag. So the idea was, when you put this in, you can see the words around your face. You're supposed to write, you know, positive things about yourself, and write positive, you know, things about yourself here. So you can remind yourself of your good qualities, which is always nice when you're having a rough day, or you're just being harsh on yourself or whatever. Sometimes you can forget the good stuff. So that tucks in there. But yeah, mine, the only problem with the sticker bag is it's a little bit like crinkly and a little bit hard to get in there, but it works. But yeah, you don't quite see the words around my face. I mean, I can see that one there, strong, kind, creative. But yeah, I put my little stickers there, and then you open up, and we just decorate it with painty paper I cut out. And she had used spirals, which I don't usually use spirals. I draw spirals a lot, but I don't usually cut them out of the paper, but I loved that idea. And I made some leaves, a heart, and of course there's writing all over it, which, you know, I can't really read, but it's just the idea is to have some support. And then this is a little letter to future me of, you know, just to cheer myself on if I'm having a rough day, or it's not even like a rough day, but it could just be, you know, you just need a little extra boost. Like, you know, you're thinking, can I do that? Or maybe you're just tired, you know, you've been working so hard towards a goal or whatever it is you want to do, and you're getting tired, you know, and maybe you're so tired you almost want to give up. And so this just gives a little extra encouragement, like, come on, you got it. And the back is just like this. I might add something. I haven't added anything yet. But yeah, I love the idea of the file folder. These edges are glued. So that was that day. Day 9 was layers. So this is another one right here that just had layer upon layer. So there's like some tissue paper, and like this was a paper bag. And then we've got some gesso, we've got some acrylic, we've got some colored pencil, we've got some Posca pens, just a little bit of everything, just to try to keep layering and layering. And then I added a couple little like Magic Cat beasties hanging out by the tree, because why not? And then this one was time, and this one was all about, you know, making time to journal. Even if you only have a couple minutes, you know, like just put something down, put a sticker down, write a couple words, you know. It doesn't have to be a big thing. It can just be what's on your desk and just like a couple words, but make time for it, because it is important. And this little guy, this moth dude, this is someone I had drawn this maybe like a month ago or something like that, and he's just been hanging out on my desk waiting, and I thought, well, I'll put him in there. Next up is Notice. So this was one where you made, you gathered up little pieces from your stash or just like little scraps or things and put them all together and kind of make something cohesive. I don't know if mine came out cohesive. Hers came out really cohesive. I feel like maybe mine didn't. So she made all these like squares, and then she put like frames around them, but mine wasn't really as organized as that. I feel like mine was sort of all into each other. So instead of having like a square here, square here, square here, with like almost mini collages of small pieces, mine's just sort of one big kind of thing. But then she went and she added little details. She did some inking here, so I was doing the same thing she was doing, just filling in some of the spaces here and softening some of the corners. And so that's what I was doing as well. And again, I don't usually do that, you know. I think this is like the kind of thing, you know, it's like doodles you would do when you're on a phone call and it's just a long call and you're just kind of sitting there doodling. Maybe you wrote down someone's phone number and now you're just doodling while they're talking. But yeah. And this one was Renewal. This one I loved. And I was going along with her too. Like again, she was painting with her finger and making the cone flowers and whatever flower. I don't know if it's a peony or what I made, but and I was doing it along with her. So what you see here, you can definitely do. Everyone can do. This is just, you know, I was just watching her and copying. And yeah, just painting with my finger, but I loved how she had the background first and then painted it, and there was some paper, and then we just did real rough flowers in the background, which pretty much got covered on my page. I think you can see them better on hers. And then covering it with these flowers. But what you don't know by just looking at this is that it was also about thinking about where you are this year, if you had a goal for this year, or not a goal, but like a resolution or a word of the year, where you're at with that, and reassessing it and figuring out, you know, if it's working for you or where you want to go from there. And then you could write yourself some new goals on the back of each flower and glue them down. So the backs of my flowers actually have words on them. So I think that's really cool doing things like that, because nobody would know that looking at this. You know, nobody might realize that this is about goals and dreams and things you want to achieve this year and beyond. They just think like, oh, that's some nice flowers, you know, or maybe they think, what is going on there? But it's kind of neat when you're like, but there's messages back there just for you. And this one was Serendipity. This was super fun. This was just painting, scraping paint and using the, what do you call this thing? It says it right on it, doesn't it? Catalyst? It looks like it says catalyst. So I was using this because it has like some different edges. It's got like a wider edge and then of course a thin edge, and just kind of taking paint and at first like scraping it, but then kind of dipping the different ends in and trying to make little dots or little scrapes. And first we wrote Serendipity and then covered it. So this is another one that actually has a secret message in there. So that was fun, very relaxing. And this is the kind of thing you can definitely just sit down and do if you're not feeling particularly inspired. You can sit down and just scrape some paint, or, you know, don't worry about how it comes out and just play with this, see what you get. Use a gift card, use whatever you have for a card, an old credit card, or, you know, gift card, anything like that, and just have fun. This one was about letting go. This one's called Let Go. It's day 14. And this was doing like one continuous blind contour line where you look at something and draw it without lifting up the pen. I don't love how mine came out, and but that's just me. This page I don't like, but I would do this process again. So I like the process. I loved the author's or artist's inspiration. I just don't like how mine turned out. So, But I like this idea and I do want to do it again. Now this was an oopsie because I don't know how I just missed that this was here. I think I probably took the pages out to take it apart. That's the only problem about not stitching these in is, for me anyway, is that if I begin to disassemble this, I may forget to put it back in. So we go to day 15, Reimagine, which was, you know, taking some scraps and reusing them. And I thought, well, I'll take some trash and reuse it because I love to do that. So I have this little package. This is kind of coming off. I got to re-glue that. This is a package from Japan for some strawberry flavored puffed corn, and that was really delicious. So I want to use that cute little guy, and then just reusing some things I had used on other pages. There was just a stamp that I had. This is actually from my younger son's Valentine from like years ago, some random Valentine that he had gotten from someone at school that he hasn't seen now in years and years. So I used that. I used a candy wrapper there, some lace that I had on the desk, painty paper that was there, scraps. And then this is the top of a washi tape that I had saved, but I liked that it had a strawberry. So I've got like a red and strawberry theme going throughout. That was a strawberry from the package. So that was me just reimagining, and you know, always fun to use our trash in the journal, right? And then this one was clusters. And so this was a neat one where you made like corner clusters. And so you could just take, again, scraps, take little scraps, things that you would probably throw in the recycle bin, or maybe it was something you thought you might use and then you didn't wind up using it. Like this was a sketch I drew super fast and then I wound up redrawing it for a journal page. And this was one of the flowers that I didn't wind up using on the page before. And just some other things. And then I painted here, and I kind of wish I didn't paint after because I think you sort of lose the idea of this being the corner clusters. But, you know, that's what happens when you try stuff. You do it and then you're like, well, next time I think I would leave those blank so these are more effective. And also probably not have them going all the way across because then maybe again too you lose a little bit of the corner idea. But, you know, sometimes these clusters just keep growing. And this was day 17. This is Explore. And so this was using some paper that was like a drop sheet that you had on your desk. And so this was a drop sheet, just a brown craft paper drop sheet that I had. And then just putting like painty paper on top and drawing on it and splattering paint and just adding a little bit here and there. Different pieces that you just have around. A lot of the messy, this is just, you know, when you tear out a page and you have this, and I thought, well, that looks kind of cool with the little windows. So it's just about reusing some things that maybe were just small little pieces or pieces that were going in the recycles and using them on a page. And I don't know where this came from, but I love it. And day 18 was about extensions. So that's making your page bigger than it was. So if you have like a really small page, but then you're like, oh, but I need more space, you know, you can just staple another page on and there you go. Now you've got more space. So I made a dragon and then I added a moth wing and stapled that on. And then I added a tail that folds down. So there's more space there. Of course, I didn't really leave space for writing because I drew the dragon on there. Just trying to move out a little bit. But yeah, so those are my extensions that I added to that page. Now, this one's gratitude, and I have my gratitude prompt here. And I just have to fill this out. But I can't find my mini printer, and I really wanted to print out some pictures here. So once I find that, I'll update this page. So this one's on hold. 20 was about trust, day 20, and this was about taking little scraps of paper and adding them across the center and also drawing little designs on them. And the artist who hosted this prompt had a really cool idea where she had on a binder ring, she had all these little tags and each one had a different pattern. So she was flipping through and like she came to this like, you know, rainbow stacked rainbow kind of pattern. So she did that, and I thought, what a great idea to have a little pattern tag book. And maybe this is a thing everybody has. I just don't have one. So I thought like that was super cool, and I think I want to make that too. And now for day 21, we have Lifelines. And so this was a lot. You started with like the black ink pen and went around, and then added some paint, acrylic paint, and then you added some, what else did I add? Watercolor and some crayon. Yeah, and then a little, she had a black and white image, and I just put this stamped image of a swallow that I had. For some reason, this page gave me a lot of trouble, and it looks like it probably shouldn't have, because it seems very free. You know, you don't really have to worry about it. You can just write messy and scribble some random shapes if you want, and then just kind of fill them in. But I just couldn't figure out how to get going on this one. I don't know why I had a little bit of a brain block there. But then once I started, after I drew the lines and I started getting into adding the paint, I really loved it. So, you know, it's funny how different things can give us a struggle, because I don't usually do this sort of thing. So for me, this was really challenging. But it looks like it would be really freeing. And I think it was, once I could get into it and just go with the flow. You know, don't overthink it. Just, you know, try to see what she's doing and try to do a similar thing, you know? So that was fun. And is this my last one? Okay, so this is where I left off, and it is not done because, again, I need my printer to print out a picture. But this one's called Identity. And so as far as I got was making the 3 different painty papers to represent 3 different parts of who you are, and then put them on the page, and then add a picture of yourself and add some words. So I haven't done that yet, but you can look at the paper for now, and I will be back to fill in, you know, after I filled in the rest. And the other exciting thing is, one of the days was day 25 is collaboration. And so Care from My Take at the Lake asked me if I wanted to do a collab with her for this day, for this prompt. And of course I was like, yes. So we mailed each other our goodies. She got mine, I got hers, I just got it in. And I am going to show you what she sent me and how I used it when I come back and show you part 2 of this journal, which I'm hoping will be next week. I'm hoping I'll finish it up, because I'm almost done. I just have, you know, this much left to do. It's not that much. So, so yeah, please come back for that when I share the rest of this, and I share my happy mail from Care. I can't wait to use it, to open it and use it. So please look forward to that next week. Thank you so much for joining me. Should I turn her this way so you can, there we go. I hope you had a wonderful week, and I hope you have some good stuff coming up this weekend. I hope you have a creative or relaxing weekend, and I will see you again soon. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye for now.